up, everybody? I'm Sal Klein. This is Reggie Steele. And welcome to Spitballin. Spitballin.
What up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele.
And welcome to Spitballin,
Yeah.
y'all. Let's get it popping.
My
All right.
collar always comes down. I don't know what that's about.
Your shoulders aren't broad enough to hold up your collar.
No, it droops right here, dude. It doesn't
That's because the
matter.
way it's probably where you.
I think sometimes because of hangers. If you keep it on a hanger too long, a t-shirt,
Oh,
it droops.
yeah. You can't hang up your t-shirts, bro. You got to fold those up. I don't hang up any of my t-shirts. Collar's
Really?
tight. Yeah, I don't hang up any of my t-shirts
Maybe
because
I'm
that's what
fucking
happens. Because over
sure.
gravity, it just starts to. You get that thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. It
Fold
just
me.
starts
But
to
I
do
what
that.
if they're nice shirts? Okay.
You got to fold them up, dude. Got to fold them
All
up.
right. Damn, I'll be fucking my t-shirts up for years.
I know you got to fold them up, dude. That's why this shirt right here is, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years old, easy.
Hmm.
And
Fold
just
them
keep that
up,
joint,
fold them
fold them
up.
up. All right, so I just want to share this experience. And it was not a crazy experience, but it's just what I noticed. So this morning, I took my car to the shop I had it, for those out there who are listening, I had an A12 service on my Acura, which is a variety of things, right? It's their checkpoints, it's tire rotations, it's oil changes, filters, it's the whole shebang. And then I
It's
had
a
some other stuff I need to get done.
it's a
Point
bullshit
being,
package that they sell to suckers like Reggie. But go ahead.
there you go, right? And my car is still going. I got 200 plus thousand miles, so
Woo!
I don't know what to tell you, right? No car note right now. Although that's a different subject. I do have a car note, but whatever. So point being is that they're going to keep my car, so I needed a ride back, right? I needed a ride, and they called for an Uber for me, and the guy showed up, and he was nice enough. He didn't say much. He pulls up. He goes, "Reggie?" I go, "Yes, sir." I hop in the car, and he doesn't say anything, right? He's quiet. And so I was like, all right, I guess I'll be quiet too. So it just gave me time to observe his driving, and not just his driving, but observe the inside of his car. And I'm going to say this to all the people out there who work in that industry of car service, pickup, drop-offs, Uber, Lyft, and whatever else. Um, Please dust your car. His dash was covered
Ew,
in
Dad.
dust. Oh my God, his dash was covered in dust. His screen, the monitor, like his navigation that was built in, because he had a thing to hold his phone, but like the built-in navigation monitor and the buttons to turn on the AC and the radio and everything covered in dust. It
You
was
just
so,
pull it out of storage or something?
I don't know.
Because
I
if you
just
drive
know,
it a lot, it's not going to accumulate dust.
hey man, I,
Not to that level.
hey dude, all I know is, and then that was me looking at the dash, and the dash was like dusty. I was like, oh, and then I started looking on the sides, and I'm like, yo, when the side of like below the window, right, where like the window comes down, and you got the part right here where the car starts, the leather or whatever,
Oh
when
yeah.
that's dusty, I went from sitting like this to sitting like this. I was like,
Did you open the windows?
well, that was the thing. I didn't open the windows. He had his sunroof open. He had the sunroof completely open. And so, if the sunroof open and you open the windows, then you get that you get that sound.
You
And
needed
so,
that's fine. You needed a draft to clear
hey
that
dude,
dust out.
and I could tell that he smokes because I got in the car and it just now I'm not gonna say the car smelled like smoke. I just think that because he smokes in his life, every time he exhale, smell like smoke. You know how those people that smoke, they smell like you talk to him and you go, dude, I'm gonna get secondhand lung cancer smelling your breath, bro.
Talking to you.
Okay. And then so that's the interior of the car. I'm watching how this dude's navigating traffic. Traffic is mad thick, yo. And we're on the 880. And 880 is infamous for having the semis. Like it's one of the freeways that the semis take because of whatever, right? There were plenty and ample opportunity for this dude to get over. right? To smoothly transition into the flow of traffic. Nah, he don't want to do that.
Go all the way and then cut them all off.
Yes, that's exactly it. He goes all the way and then he cuts off, but he ain't just cutting off another car or sedan or SUV. No, he's cutting off semis, bro.
Which is
He's
such bullshit because now your life is in this fool's hands.
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, this is crazy. Because he pulled in, I mean, it's tight. It's tight, right? And he comes up vroom, and he just kind of and semis, I felt like at one point I might have heard it's like, oh God, I'm about to get crushed between
Wow.
semis because this dude don't want to merge earlier. I'm like, bro,
Wow.
relax. It's not that serious. So his merging was pretty bad. And then he switched lanes a couple times, and his lane switching, the amount of space that
He uses blinker at least.
he did use a signal. I want to say he used a signal, but the space that he decided to merge in was uncomfortably small for me. I was like, dude, the car is right there. Like, it's right there. And he just
I
like,
just imagine you two in the back of the car. It's got to be, you got to be, you're so big. Like, it's got to be so small and cramped for you,
yeah,
some of
it
these
was a
things.
Nissan.
They don't always have it moved up
Hey, dude. Well, he did have he did have the front seat moved all
all
the
the
way
way
up.
up. Okay,
Yeah,
good,
that was
good.
good.
That's
But it was
nice.
like a Nissan, it might have been like a Nissan Sentra or
Okay,
something,
yeah,
maybe an
yeah.
Altima. But uh yeah, man, I was like, I don't like his merging. And I definitely don't like all the dust in this car right now.
Yeah.
And his breath stank like cigarettes. It's just like I was like, dude, I'm glad I don't live that far away. Just drop me off, bro.
She smell like cigarettes, Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, exactly. She tasted like cigarettes. She taste oh, dude, that's the worst. Just for the record, that's the worst.
I mean,
One of the reasons, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
what a funny Uber story you made me think of because it is
Okay,
crazy when you put your hands, you're putting your life in these guys' hands. And
100%.
these dudes just be struggling
100%.
looking for money. And I remember one time, and then,
Taking chances.
I got the opportunity. I got to tour a couple years with the great Tim Meadows, and I learned the road life a little. And when you're
Okay.
constantly, you gotta get flights, early and late night, and you get out of there early and late night so you can make it back, blah, blah, blah. So I'm taking a lot of Ubers at 5 in the morning and shit, okay?
Ooh.
And the worst is it's all right here because everybody's used to it. Everyone drives like that. Everyone's, there, man. I don't even remember where I was, but it was the middle. It was 5 in the morning. This guy picks me up. He was late.
Oh
It's
yeah.
already annoying because you gotta get to the airport, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then he pops a trunk and there's shit in there.
God, dog.
Like all his
Really?
shit, dude.
Oh,
Oh, I
dude.
got it.
Like he's living in his car. Like, oh shit.
It was definitely
Man.
like a lot of shit. So then I barely get my carry-on in. I'm breathing personal in the back seat with me. So then he's driving. It's pitch black, bro. Okay.
Oh
So like
jeez.
that's scary. There's no lights. So like I forget what small town it was in, but it was like, you know, and then he starts talking about, oh yeah, sorry about all this stuff in there, my the girl didn't come home last night and
What?
then, yeah, then I was staying with someone else, and then when she did it, I was like, I had one rule, you come home, and she did it, and now I know what the fuck, I'm like, oh my God, I just want to get to the airport.
This dude is on some suicide mission, like murder or suicide. Like I'm gonna kill both of us because she didn't come home.
Oh, dude, it was so dark too, and I'm like, I just want to get to the airport.
You know what's weird? You know what's great about
Oh,
you, Sal, is
man.
that you have these stories. Shit like that happens to you, right? Like for me, if that were that same scenario, I get in the car, same guy, same situation. I'm working with Tim Meadows. I'm in another state. I need to get to the airport at this time, whatever in the morning. I get in the car and I go, "Hey, good morning." And the guy goes, "Hey," and I go, "How you doing today?" And he'll say, "Well, my girl didn't come home last night." And I go, "Oh man, that's got to be challenging." And he goes, "Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do." Right? Like it's just like I feel like it'll turn into
No,
something,
dude, if
but
you go, that sounds to be challenging. What the fuck, man? Fuck you! And just run after it. You gotta say nothing, Reg. You sit there and shut up and you go, oh man, like it's a homeless person. You're like, nah, sorry. That's all.
Dude, I talk to homeless people all the time. I do. And hold up, this is the
What
remember
is the
this
fucking
is very
wrong with you?
reminiscent. This is very reminiscent of our conversation years ago where you had a situation where you were seeing someone and you're like, I'm gonna send her a text message. Reggie's like, send her a text message,
Oh
like, hey, how
yeah,
you doing?
dude. You were
And she's
so
like,
wrong
die,
on that.
Sal, die, die, die.
So wrong on that.
No,
You're
wait,
that
not
my
even.
point is your
Okay.
happy-go-lucky approach all the time is not the way to go in every situation.
Hey, look, it's not so much a way for me to go. It's just who I am, bro. You're asking me not to be me when you
No,
say
but
don't do
you,
that.
yeah, well, being you sometimes doesn't help in all situations.
But this is the point I'm trying to make is that I have never had that scenario where I'm like, oh my God, my life is in this dude's hand because his lady didn't come home and
Well,
he's
I
like,
mean,
you
take
gotta
enough
come home.
Ubers at 5 in the morning, you'll get one of those guys.
I'll get one of those guys. Okay.
I because Tim
But
told me a story. He got one of those guys once, and he was talking the guy, trying to talk the guy through it too, and the guy was really opening up to him and shit. And I'm
yeah.
like, but yeah, it always varies. Like this guy, this shit was fresh as a donut, man. This motherfucker was, his shit was in the trunk, dude.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, that's scary and funny.
And it just
Yeah,
is
man.
pitch
It's
black roads. It's just like it's.
yeah.
And then
Reminds me
they're
of
flying too, and I'm like, why are you speeding, bro?
yeah, that's funny. It reminds me of an Alonzo Bowden joke from years ago where he was like he said I was one time down south. He said he was in Alabama. He was getting a ride somewhere, and the guy goes, "All right, we're just gonna mosey along." And he was like, I don't want to be anywhere where mosey is a word, and it's the South. I've heard things like, can we speed this shit up?" Right?
I
Like,
don't mosey.
I don't mosey, bro. Not in the South. Like, um, yo, I want to say this real quick because we were talking about the cigarette smoke, like that smell, and you like she tasted like cigarettes, right? One of the reasons that I could never date a smoker, ever, ever, like cigarette smoker, is the fact that they smell and taste like cigarette. Like, you're in when you're in college or when you're young, you meet someone, you hang out or whatever, and maybe you make out and they're outside, it's how it is. Because you're a guy who smokes cigarettes sometimes. So it's that thing of like you at a bar, everyone's drinking and then they start getting social. And some people are like, well, I only smoke when I drink, right? And so they get this thing and they get that thing, and then they get all whatever and they go, hey,
Yeah.
Reg, and then they want to be all over you, like, oh,
Yeah,
you
dude, you're
stink.
Forrest Gump, bro. You're Bubba Gump.
And then you end up kissing them, right? And you go, look.
Big old black lip.
It's like I feel like Forrest Gump. She tasted like
I
cigarettes.
do remember though, one of my early girlfriends had a smoked. And like it was like the first chick I was with, so I was like, "What else am I gonna do? At least this chick will kiss me." And I actually didn't mind it. It was almost like, "Oh yeah, I know I'm kissing her because she got that cigarette breath."
Dude, see, this is where we differ because for me, I go, these are my choices. I can either kiss someone with cigarette breath or I can not kiss anyone. I choose not to
Well,
kiss
for
anyone.
years I did not to kiss anyone thing, so then I tried something different.
You're like,
And,
hey,
and
this is
you're right. Once in a while, like I don't smoke now. I haven't smoked a cigarette in 20 years probably. But when I was in college,
mm,
yeah, once in a while when you drink, I would never buy a pack because I didn't want to get there. But I worked at the gas station. We always sold cigarettes, and then if there was, we call it a broken pack, and then you'd have to throw them out or like inventory them, and we'd always take some from the broken pack. And
okay. Well, you should have took those and sold them. You could
yeah,
have
what do you out of the street? No, it was whatever.
sold a Lucy.
But yeah, no, but I do remember, yeah. So if you both got the cigarette breath, it doesn't matter. It just
Yeah,
like
they
comes
cancel each other
off.
out,
Yeah, it
right?
cancels each other
Yeah.
out, dude. So
The other one too is for me personally, this speaks to hygiene, right? Hygiene is so important. And I'm talking
yeah.
about dental hygiene, body
Oh,
hygiene,
dude, you
hair
want a
hygiene.
story about hygiene? Oh, bro. Here
Yeah,
we
go
go,
ahead.
dude. This shit
Regale
this
us.
shit foul as a motherfucker.
Oh boy.
I'm sitting outside my place and with my cat, like I do. We
Okay.
just chilling like we do. And I smell shit.
Like the actual thing, not you smell
Like
something bad.
human shit.
You smell, oh jeez.
And I'm
Sal, why
like,
do you go here?
what
You
the
gotta you gotta prepare people for this.
what the fuck? And
Okay.
then walking behind me out of my building, one of the people who live here is walking by me. And there's this guy. And bro, every time I see him, I think he's homeless, but he lives here. And I think he's been here forever. And I looked up
Mm.
Megan's Law where they tell you about the sex offenders.
Oh
And
yeah.
there's one sex offender, but it said it happened like in the 60s. And I could see it being this guy. And he's a straight up alcoholic. He just like walks around. I'll see him walking down the street because I performed down the street. And then people are like, oh, you know that guy? I'm like, yeah, he lives in my fucking building. I was like, he's this
You gotta
alcoholic.
move, bro.
Yeah, he's an alcoholic. You always see him with these Bud Lights and shit, right?
Yeah.
And he always will see my cat, like, because my cat don't like him. My cat knows.
Cat's like, yeah,
So,
you stink.
dude, no, he walks by me. I'm like, what the? And I just see him. He doesn't even say anything. I would, and I was like, huh? And his pants are ripped. He wears these pants out there. Both the pants legs are totally ripped. The back is all ripped. His ass cheek is hanging out. There's brown shit stains all over the fucking jeans because I think he just gets so drunk and shits himself and passes the fuck out, dude. So he
Sal, you
walks
got Sal, you
by me,
gotta
and I was like,
prepare
what
people
the
for this,
fuck?
man. You gotta prepare people for stories like this, man. You can't just drop
I
human shit
did. I said,
stories on
you
people,
got one.
bro. God. Hold. My biggest question is, where are you living?
Hollywood,
Like
baby. That's Hollywood. Because
dreams, chasing the dream.
this it's beginning to get gentrified here. And it is kind of getting hipper right down the street. But some of these old timers who've been here, he's probably like, hey man, I gotta get away from this sex offender thing.
Yeah.
Let me go to this apartment and this been here
Uh,
forever.
let's see. Most neighborhoods get gentrified with wealthy white people taking over poor neighborhoods. Your
Yeah.
neighborhood gets gentrified with homeless people integrating into
No,
into
I'm saying
homes.
he's the one gonna get gentrified out. He's been here
Oh, he's gonna get
from
gentrified
the
out. Okay,
Nixon administration, bro.
dude. If there is rent control, right, then he ain't going nowhere.
No, yeah, he's gotten some kind of deal.
Yeah,
And
he's if he's been there forever, he ain't
no, it
going
is getting
nowhere.
gentrified. Like down the street, some band owns like some fucking store down the street, and they always have like it's a clothing line, and they always have these debuts, and all these kids line up and stuff. And then you go into the vintage place, and it's like super expensive stuff. And I'm like, what
Mm,
the hell, dude?
that's how they do it, dude. They make it
It's
where you
so
can't
weird.
afford it. Like
And
it
then
brings
here
in
now,
a
but
an
then right
elite
down the
group.
street, there'll be a woman selling $2 tacos on the corner. So yeah, it's
Mm.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
so that,
Hygiene.
yeah, dude. I wish I filmed it. I wish I had my phone. I didn't have it on me at the time, and I was so shocked. But I'd be
No,
like,
we
why should
didn't
I
we
have to
didn't need to
pay
see
any
that.
rent when I got this deplorable living here?
Yeah, nah, man. We don't need to see footage, actual footage of this
Yeah,
guy's
it was.
shitty butt
Oh my
cheeks.
God.
Yeah, that's
And then I was talking to one of the guys that down the street at the show place, and he always like hangs out outside. And he's like, oh yeah, I see that guy. He's like, yeah, his ass cheek is hanging out. I was like, hey man, you can't have pants like that walking around.
he's like, shut up, I live here. You're like,
It's
oh
like,
jeez.
dude, the guy doesn't even
Man, you know what? You guys need to pool your money together and get that brother some pants, man. Get that dude some pants.
Hey man, oh no, get that girl a hose. We got hose that fucker down.
Get him some pants and a bath. That's what you need.
Dude,
It's like,
uh-uh. And then
dude,
I
that
was telling
sucks.
people too, because of all your senses, smell, man, is a strong, like that's like getting hit
Oh,
punch in the face, dude.
yeah. Yeah. I have a sensitive nose too. I can't handle that shit, bro. I'm telling
No,
you
I
right
did
now.
when you actually smell like fresh human shit,
Oh, dude,
you're
come
like,
on. Come on, man.
there's no
No.
smell like it. Like even when you
No.
use, because when you use the toilet, it's usually fine. But if it ever peaks above the water, oh, that stench is a different level.
Oh, jeez. Sal, you gotta warn people. I'm sorry, folks. I didn't know we were going here. I had no idea. I mentioned hygiene because I was just gonna say that, when two people are trying to get to know each other better, both of y'all need to wash your ass, right? Like brush your teeth, you know what I'm saying? Comb your hair, shampoo,
I'm
condition,
just
like do
saying
some
that
shit.
shit hit my sinuses, bro.
I was gonna go with, simple. Take a shower. Use soap.
Oh
Personally,
man.
as a black person, I prefer to use a washcloth. I know that there are some of my other melanin challenged people who don't like to use washcloths, who like to use their hands,
No,
right?
no, a loofah, dude. Use a loofah.
Okay, a
Washcloth.
loofah.
Washcloth damn near using your hand. You only get two
No.
sides. Loofah, you
What?
get infinite sides.
Dude. Okay, whatever. Just put something between the
A loofah
soap.
is like a big old onion blossom, and then you
Just,
like every little
oh,
side and
jeez.
petal can wash
Okay,
you.
whatever you want to do, loofah, wash,
It
whatever. Just put
exfoliates better.
put something between your hand,
Yeah, don't
and the
just use
soap
your
and your
hand.
body, right?
No,
Like it's gotta be just your
no.
hand and a bar of soap. Come
Yeah,
on, man. No, get
yeah,
out of here. So
no.
I was gonna go the route of just, personal hygiene, brush your teeth,
Yeah,
comb
yeah,
your hair,
yeah.
wash your ass. Sal had to come with the human shit stories, the human
Yeah.
feces.
Kimberly's
Like,
not gonna want to do this podcast now. She'd be like, "All right, I have all my people tune in," and then the first 20 minutes ends up like that.
oh geez.
I'm
Okay,
like, "Yo,
we
tell
can
your people
segue.
to skip ahead to the interview."
Is she here yet or no?
Let me see. No, dude, no go.
No
Ah,
go.
all right. Well, we'll see. So we'll break it down though. I got this friend, Kimberly Tilley, and we went to high school together. And then she moved to the Bay not long before I left. So she's up in the Bay now in I believe I don't know. Like
Oh, you
San
don't know which.
or somewhere. I think somewhere on the peninsula.
Okay.
No, even further. What's further than San Mateo?
I mean, you get to my down like
There's
Carmel,
Millbrae, San
Monterey,
Bruno. What's south of
Carmel, Half Moon Bay.
no, not all that. What's
Oh,
south of San Mateo? Colma?
that's
No.
like no, that's like San Mateo. Don't you get down to like Palo Alto,
Yeah, but that's a big gap still, I feel. Between
Burlington?
San Mateo and
I don't know, man.
anyway.
We just you have to look at a map.
But she's got so then I didn't realize this that she's a author and
Yeah, I mean that's the whole reason why
she
she's on today because she's written 4 books, right?
four four
Yeah,
and I think it
yeah.
started in 2019.
Well, yeah, the first one was I want to say she wrote the first one in 2019, and
I
then
have the first one here. She
and
gave
was
it
released in
to me.
2020.
Okay.
The first one was
It's
not a
called
grievous
The
deed,
Poison Glass is the
a
first one.
poison glass. Yeah. Oh,
Oh
dude.
yeah, released August 2019.
Okay.
Oh, here she comes. All right, well, let's introduce her.
All right.
This is the perfect timing. The author of The Poison Glass and multiple other books.
Grievous deed and how what has it come to this?
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
give it up. Kimberly Tilley, everybody.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
Hi,
you. I'm
Kimberly.
Flesh.
so excited to be on the Spitballin podcast.
Oh,
Ah,
awesome.
hey,
Thank you. We're
she
excited to
knows the
have you.
name.
Thank you.
All right,
Yes.
so Kimmy, this is Reggie. Reggie, this is Kimberly, Kimmy
Hi,
Sue.
Reggie.
Hi, Kimberly.
How are
It is.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm very excited about talking to you this morning. I read your bio and I looked at the synopsis or the summary of the books, and I'm super excited to get into this because I'm like, because these are all real. These are all based on real stories. These are
Yeah,
all
they're
real
all
stories.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but before we get to that, I mean, I'm just excited to hear your story of how you started writing and what made you decide to go
Yeah,
this
how'd you
route.
get
Like,
into writing, man?
yeah,
I've known you for a long time, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what? Kimmy's an author now.
yes.
Well, let's see. I always liked to write, and it would help me with things all the time. Like if I was feeling like, all I don't know, I had a lot of like churn or something was bothering me a lot, I'd
Mm.
go and write about it. And then I had a lot more clarity. And it
Mm.
just seemed like if I could write things down, they could make more sense to me.
Oh,
Okay.
And
okay.
then I really liked to write anyway. And I started getting interested in turn of the century. So like 1900. Sometimes now people call like 2000 the turn of the century, which makes me feel really old. But in 1900, though, that era is so fascinating to me. And I feel like most people don't know that much about it because it's
True.
not something that gets a lot of attention in history
I agree.
classes, even in movies and things like that because
Yeah.
we're more preoccupied with like the things that maybe like the Pilgrims or the Civil War or World War II, but World War
Right.
One doesn't get any attention.
That's true. The popular,
Uh,
we kind of gravitate toward the popular things, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But there are so many stories where I feel like people would be really fascinated if they knew about them from the turn of the century. And besides, now we have so much more in common probably with those people, the people at the turn of the century, than we
Mhm.
would with any other era in history.
Really? And
Because
why is that? Why would you say that?
Well, because like they were living through something really similar to what we're living through right now, which is that every day they were having these new inventions coming out, things that
Mm,
had never been done before, but all of a sudden you
mm.
could do them. And it
mm.
was exciting, but it was also really disruptive to like everyday people. So let's say you were a farmer and you had been a farmer your whole life, that's what you knew how to do, and you planned your whole future around that all of a sudden maybe that stuff started to go away or there wasn't as much money in it and you had to go work in a city in a factory or something like
Mm.
that. So it would disrupt a lot of things.
Oh, okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Wow, that's
Kind of
really
like the
cool.
original AI.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like AI, the way AI disrupts things now, or even the internet.
Right.
Oh,
There's these cartoons that people did back then, and it was like in the year 2000, what is it going to look like? And these were all published in 1900, and
Okay.
wow.
some of them are spot on. It's amazing.
Get
Oh,
out of
wow.
here. Like
No,
what?
really, like they're like sitting, it's funny because they're very turn of the century. So somebody will be sitting in his lounging robe with his pipe and everything, and he's drinking his martini, but on the wall there's a screen and he can see somebody in another state or another country and he's talking to them,
Oh,
Oh.
right? So it's like an early
wow.
iPhone or
And that's
something.
like
And
before television was invented,
Well,
which is
that's
yeah,
like what
pretty
before
we're doing
crazy.
right
television.
now.
Right, right,
Exactly.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
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 Whoa,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
interesting.
I
Okay.
mean, that
Interesting.
was like really cool. And I just started to get really interested in it. I think they handled it a little bit differently than we do because we're a little bit later in the time continuum and we know how disruptive things can be and the impact that can have on people. So we're a little bit more scared, I think, than they were, or some people are. Some people just embrace technology. But a lot of people are like, well, what's this going to do to my job? Am I going to still have am I still going to have something where I can make money and survive and exist? But
Mhm.
back then it was sort of like they only saw the positives. It was a very positive time in history, a
Oh,
very
good.
optimistic
I like
time.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like
Yeah, it
that.
was really great. And so I started my website I was still in Charlotte, so it was around 2013. And I don't know, it's something I really enjoyed doing. And I started going to like newspaper archives and look up like whatever was happening. One thing you'll notice is like human nature never changes. Like human nature,
Mm,
humans are humans, right? And
right,
they would
right.
do
Wow.
the same kinds of things. But
Okay.
it's just a little bit different today.
Yeah.
And
So would
I
you
don't
do
know.
like original like stories and stuff on your website and then that eventually evolved to books?
Because I'm really not good at fiction. Like you have to have a lot of imagination for fiction, and it's harder to do it
Hmm.
because like if you've got an audience and you've written some fictional book, then the idea is that everything has to fit together, and you can't have any tomato surprises where it's like somebody had a secret identical twin wandering around and you didn't know that the whole time, right? Everything
Right.
has to fit together and be suspenseful, but not quite nothing that would give away the plot. They want a lot of mystery and they like a surprise, but it has to make sense.
Right.
And with true stories, I mean, people never they never make sense, They people are just illogical and irrational and they do things like that all the time. And
Right.
so you can't really argue with something that's happened. So that's one reason I like to write it. And plus, nobody's heard these stories from the turn of the century. So
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, like reading the stuff about the books, I was like, yo, this is crazy, right? Like,
yeah.
especially like that one where I said, has it come to this, the question? And
hmm
then, and obviously I didn't read the book, unfortunately. I wish I had time to,
Oh,
but
come on, Reggie.
I know, but this is the beginning because it honestly sparked my curiosity and my excitement because just even in the description with things coming out, right? And
Yeah.
obviously with that statement, he's looking at someone that knows him, that he knows, that he has some type of interaction or relationship with on some level where it's like, oh, has it come to this? And then there's a shot and he's dead. And then
Yeah.
you start to figure out that like there have been issues with this person in the neighborhood, this person, there's jealousy over here, there's relationship problems. And you go, who did it? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
There are a lot of
oh,
viable suspects in that one,
is it
because
really?
I mean, like he wasn't like a great guy. A lot of people
Mm-mm,
felt like he had it coming,
hmm.
and
Obviously
he
he
wasn't
did.
great to his family, he wasn't great to his friends, the people he worked with. And he was also like a real like he had a real problem with alcohol. And so
Yes.
a lot of times
Okay.
like in the middle of the day they would call his wife and they're like, somehow you got to get him home because he's just drunk in the store. He owned a store,
Whoa.
so they would have to like
Okay.
cart him home and all kinds of stuff like that. And you could see
Yeah.
how it added up over
Yeah.
time, and a lot of people would have been angry at him.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So my next question for you, and this is might be jumping ahead. I'm sorry, Sal. I know you got something more,
Well, there was, I
but
was going to mention the other book, the
well,
Chattanooga.
hold on. Well, can we just stay
Go
with this
ahead,
one just
Ray.
for a
Go
second?
ahead.
In this particular scenario, or in this particular story, you writing about this, right, doing the research about it, did you come up with your own conclusion about who?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's one
okay.
thing I figured out. Well, I have to hire editors because I make all kinds of mistakes. And
Okay.
so they'll read it and they'll be like, "Hey, with my first book that was unsolved, they were like, you really can't just say, and we don't know what happened and end the story that way.
Right,
You need to
right.
present a theory, right?"
Okay,
And
okay.
so
Oh,
with that one, I didn't get a lot of pushback on the theory after people read the book. They were like, well, it could have been this other person, but maybe the person you identified, that's probably right.
All right.
I have
Okay.
another one that I wrote, and I've gotten so much feedback and reviews and stuff like, I'm not sure you got that right. About 50% of the
Mm,
people think I got it right, and the
that's
other
great though.
50% are like, no, no, it was this other person. That was one where it was like, that's Cold Heart. And a
Okay.
yeah.
lot of people, that guy was so, he seemed so nice and innocent, and like
Hmm.
he just did everything right. Everybody loved him. He was generous. But then after he got killed, it was amazing how many people cropped up, and he was hiding a lot of things, I think, in his past and present.
Really?
Cold-hearted. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man, what's the other one? Grievous Deed. Now
Grievous deeds.
that one really, now
That was the
obviously,
one I was talking about, the Chattanooga one.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna, now that one for me as a black person, that one
Mhm.
really stuck out because that just once again, I haven't read the whole book, but just reading out a little bit, that one really stuck out because historically in our country, there have been these moments of vigilante, not vigilante, but what is it called? Justice.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
street
you're right.
justice,
Vigilante
dude.
Yeah,
justice.
vigilante justice, where they get so hell bent on who's being accused without giving it time to play out. And, unfortunately, people that look like me have paid the price for that, right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then later for it to only come out that, you know, it was someone else and something else completely. And,
Hmm.
so that one really, when I read the synopsis of that one, I was just like, all right, man, hold up.
And
This is, yeah.
they did direct order from the Supreme Court and they just ignored it. It's so crazy.
Well, no, the people
Yeah.
did, right? Not the
Right.
sheriff. The
No,
people
right.
ignored
But
it.
yeah, it
But
didn't
did the
matter.
sheriff let them in?
Well, what happened was that
Yeah.
so he had been convicted of assaulting this girl when she was walking home, and there was all kinds of evidence that it probably wasn't him.
Mm,
Like he had an alibi, he was working, people saw him in and out at work, and it's like, I mean, you could say, well, okay, maybe he rushed over to this other location and did that really quick and then came right back, but it didn't sound right.
mm,
And a lot of people were like, well, we convicted him. It was a court of law. That was fine. But his attorneys afterwards, because all of his appeals got denied on the state level. And so his attorney afterwards was like, well, there's only one way to do it. So he went to Washington, D.C. from Chattanooga, and he just got an appointment with the Supreme Court justice. And I don't know how hard that would be then, but it would be, insane now if you tried to
right.
do that. And the Supreme Court justice listens to it, and he's like, yeah, I think there's something really shady going on there. And let me talk to the other justices. So the next day, they had an order from the Supreme Court, like, you have to give him a new trial. And then this mob came in, they broke into the jail and then there was
Mm,
a lynching, right? And it was
right.
on the Walnut Street Bridge. And
Mm.
even the way that that happened, because he had last words, they gave him a chance to speak. And he was just like, I didn't do it. God bless you all. And it was almost like a saint-like action.
Oh, wow.
And then when I was reading about, so I really did a lot of research on it. The book was meant to be about this mentally ill guy named Dave, who is, I mean, he's his own thing. But the reason that I ended up writing about that was because the sheriff that was involved with Dave Edwards was also the sheriff who was presiding over Ed Johnson's case, and he was the person that the Supreme Court blamed for the lynching because they said, "You run the jail, you're
Mm,
responsible." And I don't know how to say it, but it was just basically the more evidence that came out, even after Ed had been killed, even after that, there was still more evidence. And so I formulated a theory about who probably really did it. And this is always dangerous, right? Because I'm kind of
don't
smearing
give, yeah,
somebody who's
don't,
not alive,
yeah,
right?
don't,
But I
yeah.
do have an idea about who did it, and it's based on evidence. So part of my research was that I talked to what was he was a Superior Court judge. Hold on, I'll tell you his exact name. He was a Superior Court judge in that area, and
Mhm.
he was interested in this case. So his name was Judge Curtis Collier. He's the senior United States District Judge of the U.S. District Court of the Eastern District of Tennessee. So I
Mm.
got to talk to him and I was like,
Wow.
listen,
Wow. That's amazing.
I
Wow.
got a theory about this. And he was
Okay.
like, you have a theory? And I don't know who he thought I was going to blame. But then when I said who I thought it was, he was like, oh. And I was like, I don't want you to judge me. Let me put my case to you, judge. And when I told him, he was like, that's possible. You know,
Oh,
What?
you could
wow.
see
Are you
it.
kidding?
Whoa,
Cracking
look at you
cases?
solving cold cases. Well,
I
and
mean,
okay, so
it was great.
the Grievous D, because it made me think about when you just said it, but that was the one where the guy who was mentally ill was released to help out, and the way it was left in the summary was that like he did what crazy people do. He went crazy, and then he did something, and we're not gonna give that away at all, but
That's
like the
okay. Dave did so
idea.
many crazy things. Like everything he did seemed crazy.
Okay.
So we could talk about that one. Basically, what he did was the sheriff who was being held responsible, who had this Supreme Court case building, which is, by the way, the only criminal case that the Supreme Court has ever taken, even to date.
Mm,
So he had this case building against him, and I think his mind like cracked under the pressure of this because this was building up over years. And then they had this other horrible murder in Chattanooga, and everybody was afraid to go after the guy.
Wow.
And he went to Kentucky, and at the time, Kentucky was like no man's land. There was
mhm,
really like no law and order there, and none of the deputies wanted to go. And he was like, "But Dave Edwards would go." So he pulls him into the office. He's in jail. He pulls him into the office, and he's like, "What if I give you a pistol and I deputize you, and you go after the guy?"
Jeez.
mm, yeah.
And he let him do it. And like I'll just tell you guys because this is just like one small thing he did. But he did find him. He reported on his location, so they were able to get the guy. But then he stole the sheriff's identity. And then he was kind of like wandering around Kentucky. He's like, yes, I'm Sheriff Ship. And he just impersonating him. And it
Wow.
was awesome. I was like, way to stick it to that guy. You know?
Yeah. Holy cow. This is amazing. And what year was this one? What year did this take place?
So it started in 1906. That was when this
1906.
attack happened with Ed
Okay.
Johnson. And then it winds up in 1910. So there's a long time, like the first part of the book is all about Ed Johnson. And then there's a long time where it's all about Dave and all of these other things that are happening there. And then
Okay.
in the last two or three chapters, I get back to Ed Johnson. And then I just said what I thought happened. What
Okay.
I thought really happened there.
Wow.
And that one's a long book, though. It's one of these ones where there's basically three stories that are interwoven. I
Okay.
just couldn't extract Dave from all of them. He was related to all of them in a way. So I felt like I had to go
Mm,
through all three of them. But
okay.
it gives you a picture of Chattanooga at the time, which was
Yeah.
just crazy.
Oh
And
yeah. Where's
yeah,
the
so
South? The
Not
South
much
is
has
still
changed.
crazy.
yeah.
The South
Okay.
is still crazy. It's a little more civilized, but it's still crazy,
So,
right?
Some parts of it are, yeah.
Parts of it are, yeah. I grew up in
uh,
Alabama, so that's why I feel like
yeah,
You
I
right.
can
grew up
say
in
that.
Alabama?
I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah.
Okay, I lived in Charlotte for 10 years.
Oh,
We're
did
like kind
you?
of neighbors, yeah.
Yeah,
And we're
actually,
even
I've
more
been to
neighbors now
Charlotte.
because you live in Oakland, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're both.
Yes.
Where do you at? Are you in San Mateo?
Yeah, well, I'm in San Mateo County, so
Okay,
I'm
okay.
in the peninsula.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah, so not
Nice.
too far.
No, not far at
Um,
all.
all right, so I wore my little fedora because we got to crack a case with her, I believe. What is it? She does this thing called Mugshot March.
Yes. Mugshot
And
March.
I said, Reggie and I will partake in this.
Okay.
So
You're
explain
signed up.
it. So yeah, so what do we got to do here?
So what I'm gonna tell you a story, and I want you guys just to react as we go along. And
Okay.
the
Okay.
idea with Mugshot March is that I'll find these old mugshots from around that period. This one's a little bit later. It's from the 1920s. I
Okay.
had at least three different stories I wanted to tell you guys, but all of them I felt like that one wasn't right. This one though is from Hollywood, and there's a
Hey.
lot more action going on. So can
Okay.
I share my screen with you guys?
Say
Yeah,
again?
Okay.
so she wants to share a screen with us.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Go ahead. Do I have to
Okay.
do something?
I think, all right, let me send a
Oh
request.
yeah, cool. You know how to do this way better than me.
Okay, let's see here. So I'm just going to share my desktop because I have a few pictures I want to show you guys. So we'll start here.
Oh
Oh,
my.
wow.
Good
And
Lord.
this is Sarah Carrick. And this was during, so mugshots really have evolved. I mean, I don't know.
All
I'm kind
right.
of a geek. I'm interested in these things. But
Hmm.
like one of the things that they used to do to save money, this is like a short-lived government efficiency thing, is they would position you in front of a mirror so that they could take your face on photograph at the same time they took your profile,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So
Right.
this is one picture of her, but she's in front of a mirror. So Sarah Carrick, right? She looks very different from the average person that San Quentin was bringing in, but this is from San Quentin.
Hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
So I've got the story for you. Sarah Carrick she was an extra in the movie industry. And
Wow,
so,
that's a tough life. I get it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
get it,
imagine.
Sarah. Not guilty.
Yeah.
But she also she was married to somebody who was like a rising star. So his name was Tom Two Gun Crawley. So this is one picture of him. I've got one better one that I want to show you
Wait,
guys
that's him with the hat?
with the hat. So the
Oh,
deal
wow.
with Tom Two Gun Crowley was that he had once been a okay, here's the big one. This is just a publicity still that they did, but much better picture,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I
Yeah.
can see. What a stud. Look at
Yeah,
those
yeah.
hands though. They look murderous.
They look huge too.
Yeah,
Like,
They
got
do
some big
look really
hands.
big.
like they'll put them
Yeah.
around a throat.
Well, he was a real cowboy, and somehow he went to Hollywood and started just being a cowboy in the movies.
Mm.
Okay.
So he was married to Sarah, and this guy named Joe Hill. I mean, this one, that's way too much stuff to have on the screen at once.
Joe Hill
Um,
got a hell of a haircut. He looked like he owns a factory or something.
he
It looks
was
like,
actually a real cowboy, and he worked in Arizona, and I think that's where he knew Tom from, but I'm not positive. But they were friends, and
Okay.
so Joe Hunt was on vacation basically. So he had a little bit of money in his pocket, and he drove up to Hollywood, and he wants to go hang out with his friend. He wants to go hang out with his friend Tom, and Tom
Okay.
is married to this woman named Sarah.
Uh-huh.
So
okay.
this is Tom and this is Sarah, okay?
Okay.
So not the best picture of her,
No,
but
Tom
all of
looks
the
like
pictures.
the guy who owns Curious George.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
Oh yeah, huh.
Yeah.
Well anyway, so he came over and it was April 25th, 1927 that Joe Hunt arrives. And maybe I should keep his picture up here just for a minute. And so they're all hanging out at Garrick's house. They're having dinner and everything. And Joe is like, "Hey, look, I live on a ranch in Arizona. Can we do something exciting? We're in Hollywood." And so Sarah invites her friend Iris over. So this is
Oh
Iris.
shit.
Okay.
Yep. So this is Iris, and she is also in the film industry, but I don't know what she did. But you
Okay.
kind of get an idea of her a little bit here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
sexy. Like
so,
she got hella lipstick on. She's got her little
ye-
hat on.
yeah, she's very 1920s chic, right?
Yes. Very 1920 chic.
So
Yeah.
okay, so Joe's
And
trying to get some probably.
Joe's trying to get with Iris
All
for
right.
sure. And it's not going that well. She's not mean to him, but it's not going that well.
Yeah,
She doesn't
Joe
seem
looks
very
rough. Like he
interested.
worked on a farm his whole life. He looks a little tough.
Well, he's a cowboy, so he's been out in the sun. He's a
Yeah, he
little
looks
weather
weathered.
beaten.
He's very
Yeah,
weathered.
Yes,
yeah.
weathered. That's a really
And
good word for
yeah,
him.
he's
Yeah.
weathered.
So, anyway, the four of them are hanging out and they're drinking a little bit, but you have to remember this is Prohibition days, right? So nobody's
Mm,
allowed to have alcohol, even though everybody does. So, the four of them are hanging out, and then they decide, you know what? We've had enough of each other's company. Why don't we go over to our other friend's house? So there's six people involved, which is why I'm showing you guys the pictures,
okay.
just to keep it all straight. So they go over to Henry Isabel, who is another on-screen cowboy. This is Henry. And his girlfriend, he lives with his girlfriend, Anita. So these two live together. And then the four of these guys, so Joe, Iris, Tom, and Sarah, show up at Henry and Isabel's house. They knock on the door, they bang on the door. And these two are upstairs. They're falling asleep already. But these guys won't go away. And they stopped at a bootlegger's on the way over and got like this big gallon of moonshine. And they're like, no, no, we're here to party. Right. So finally they come downstairs and they let them in. This was a bad mistake.
Yeah.
So they're hanging out and they're mostly pouring drinks for these two because they want them to catch up. And all four of them kind of get riled up and then they decide they're going to go over to another couple's house. But that couple wisely didn't open the door. So they're like, well, how about the six of us go back to the Carrick's house? So they're riding along, and then let's go back to Joe for a second because Joe pulls something that makes everything hard.
Hey, do you know
Uh,
what neighborhood this is? They like their houses are in?
I'd have to go back and check. I don't think I had that. But this is in Hollywood
Right.
proper, so I'm
Okay,
not sure if that
okay.
makes a difference. But
Yeah.
anyway, Joe is getting pretty upset because Iris keeps blowing him off. And they're all really drunk. And so Joe is like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. But they're in the car, they're driving. So he opens the door and just rolls out, even though the car is going about 30 miles an hour. And they stop the car and they're like, what happened to Joe? And so they start looking for him. And Sarah, hold on, this is kind of difficult, right? Sarah and Henry go one way looking for Joe. And Tom and Iris go another way looking for Joe. And they eventually find him and they bring him back to the car, right? But when they get back in the car, Iris leans over. She's talking to Anita and she was like, hey, Tom made a move on me in the field, while we were looking for Joe. So he got fresh with her was the way she said it. And Iris was like,
Whoa.
so she doesn't say anything. And then Anita knows this, right? That Sarah's husband is like supposedly made this big move on Anita. So let me read this part because I won't be able to keep it straight. When Joe got back into the car, he had a gun in his pocket, a Colt 38, and it fell out of his pocket. And Sarah sees it and she snatches it up and puts it in her purse because she says she doesn't want Joe to have a gun while he's so drunk because he was really, really drunk. And then at the Carrick home, Sarah and Anita are kind of entertaining everybody. They're singing, they're dancing, and everybody else is just drinking. And then they're like, oh, let's get the neighbors. None of the neighbors answer the door. So they're just wandering around talking outside. And Sarah says, well, we should go back before Iris gets her clutches into Henry, right? Because Iris is
Mm,
going to steal Henry away from you. And Anita says, like, you know what? Actually, I don't have to worry about Henry. Iris said that Tom, your husband, is trying to get fresh with her.
Oh.
Okay. Sarah gets very upset. They go back into the house, and when they do, Henry is indeed all over Iris. So Sarah storms up to him and she says, hey, you're with Anita. What are you doing preying on a drunken, helpless woman? And Tom's like, hey, Anita is not helpless. She called him over. And so they get into this big drunken brawl. First, Tom slaps Sarah,
oh,
and then Henry gets up and he's like, how dare you hit a woman? And then punches Tom. So this
okay.
turns into this big drunken brawl. And then it seems like that just kind of died down after a while. And they're all like, let's go in the kitchen and have some coffee. So that seemed to have gone over okay. And then they're in the kitchen. Sarah makes some coffee. I have to point out though, by this time, where did he go? Joe, the guy that was the visiting guy.
Who jumped out of the car?
The guy who had jumped out of the car, they found him, they brought him back, and they wouldn't let him leave. That was the problem for him. Yeah. So this guy, he is asleep on the kitchen floor because they won't let him leave. But everybody else is sitting around the table drinking coffee, except for Tom Carrick. So we'll go back over here. I'm sorry, there's so many people involved. But Tom Carrick comes in and he's like, I don't want coffee, I want whiskey. And Anita is looking over at Sarah and she suddenly sees Sarah go into her purse and get the gun. And she was like, uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
because she knows that, Tom had been making this move on Iris allegedly. And so Sarah picks up the gun and Anita goes to like hold her arm back. But when she did, the gun went off. And the way that her arm jerked, she hit Tom directly in the chest. So Tom staggers around. He kind of reels around twice, and then he goes into the living room and collapses on the floor. So let's see. Henry follows him in a stupor. He like kicks at him. He's like, get up, get up. He doesn't know what's going on. So Tom doesn't respond. So he goes and he's like, well, I better wake up the guy on the kitchen floor. And he wakes up Joe Hill, and he says, you know, Tom, something's wrong with Tom. Tom's been shot. And so he doesn't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's really drunk. And Anita's like, the police are probably going to come over. So she hides the gin. That was like her contribution there. But when she comes back, she sees Sarah on the floor next to Tom. And she's like, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I'm so sorry. And Tom was gone, though. She killed him. Kill her own husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when the police got there, it took 14 hours for them to sober everybody up enough to give a statement. But it's blurry because everybody was partying, and they're all drunk and stuff.
Who
So
knows a moonshine? That's not regulated.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
yeah. Well, it's prohibition. They shouldn't even have it. Like it's supposed to not even exist, right?
it's supposed to. But I
It's
mean, they
supposed
had like a
to.
pretty great business. Like you would never go
Yeah,
broke in Hollywood selling moonshine or anywhere
yeah,
else.
yeah.
But anyway, the five of them get indicted for murder. So all of these guys here.
All
And
of them.
yeah, they all get indicted because the police said that the only reason this happened is because they were drunk and they shouldn't have been having alcohol, but they had alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
let me see if I can make all of them visible at
That's
once because
crazy, man.
the rest of the story has to do with this. So they all get indicted and they are tried. Let's see, it was May 16th. So this happened on April 27th. And then the trial starts on May 16th. So things
Within
happened
a
real
month.
quick back then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
yeah.
not like that now.
No, no, not at all. Okay, I think I got everybody on here, don't I? Or no, maybe not Joe Hill. Here we go. Okay, so you got all five of these people, and they're all being indicted for this murder. So Iris gives her testimony, and then she faints away very dramatically on the stand.
Mm.
And this guy's like, I don't know anything. I was asleep on the kitchen floor the whole time. And it was a jury of 9 women and 3 men.
Wow.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Are they going to be
Oh.
merciful or not?
Well,
I
it's
mean,
crazy to me that they all could
it's
be the same crime. Because like we
Yeah,
all know Sarah pulled the trigger.
Sarah pulled the trigger.
yeah. But they were all drinking when they weren't supposed to be drinking, so I'm sure they took that
But
into
that ain't
account.
murder.
No, it
Drinking
ain't
ain't
murder,
murder.
but you got to remember it's probably a crime of passion to some degree because she was inebriated and he was hitting on another woman and just in that moment she doesn't have all of her faculties and she found this gun that fell out of Joe Hill's pocket and it was just I heard the news of him doing a thing and I just and it went off.
That's
What
exactly what she did. It was
what
just like
year?
that.
What year was this?
1927.
1927.
27th.
Okay, so I feel. So what are you
Eight
asking us? Is it guilty or
eight
not
women.
guilty?
I'm
So
just
eight
asking you what you think if 9 women and three
uh,
men are on the
9 women, that's
jury,
right.
how do you think
Okay.
that they're going to rule on this?
I think that they're gonna I mean, look, I hate to say that it sucks because I don't want the sex to be a to
But
have
it is a
but
factor.
it is a factor. So 9 women, they're gonna say that it can't be murder. It's not first degree murder. It's involuntary manslaughter or it's third degree murder where you did something and the person died by your mistake, but it was not intentional, right? And because of the alcohol and because of the triangle of love or whatever,
Huh?
um, she's guilty, but not of guilty of first degree. They found her guilty of a
It
lesser
wasn't
crime.
pre-planned.
It wasn't
Actually,
pre-planned.
that's really good because like that is they got them all. They convicted them all for manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
Okay.
Okay.
It was a
Yeah.
3.5 hour jury deliberation. They all came back guilty, and a juror was interviewed afterwards. So this is a Hollywood resident, and he said, "We felt that it was about time to call a halt on Hollywood's wild parties and killings. To have returned a verdict of not guilty in this case would have been to put the stamp of approval on such disgraceful carousing."
Mm.
I
So
was
it was
thinking
a
this. If you're a jury, because you think 9 women, they'll let her go. But if you're on a jury, you got to, hit certain social standards to get on a jury. And so if they're on a jury, they probably think drinking is evil, Hollywood is evil. So, oh, let's punish these guys. So it kind of makes sense.
well, I'm not even gonna say punish them. I wouldn't say punish them as much as like
Make an
we're
example.
gonna make an example of them because
Yeah.
obviously in that statement it's like we need to wrangle in the Hollywood way of lifestyle to some degree, right? Of what
Yeah.
they've been able to
Hmm.
get away with. So they're like, but obviously they couldn't say not guilty because someone is dead, right? Like it's someone's dead. So someone's got to be guilty of something.
And not just
But
someone. This is like a rising star, and people were like, "Oh, he's going to be the next big thing. He's going
oh,
to be
that's
like
right.
the
That's right.
John Wayne of the era or something like that."
Yeah.
Right,
But
right.
you're spot on about that. So within let's see, so within a month they brought that back, and then they all appealed the verdict, of course. But then Sarah was the only one who said, "No, I'm going to go to San Quentin right away." The rest of these guys are like, "Oh, no way. I am going to just hang out at the LA County Jail." And that's what they were doing.
Mm,
And so Sarah goes in, and I showed you guys her mugshot. Let me show
right.
you, I'll show you her full mugshot because I just showed you her face because I didn't want to spoil the story. But here is her mugshot, her intake mugshot. And San Quentin does it so well. They have everybody's life. They can reduce it down to like maybe 4 lines on a sheet of paper like this. But
Mm,
they told, how old she was, how tall she was, how much she weighed. The CPL means complexion. So she had complexion is fair, hazel eyes, brown hair. She got convicted for manslaughter. She was received on 7/9/27. So this
She's
is still remember
35 years old.
she's
35.
35.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, still remember this is like she's already in prison doing time for a murder that happened on April 25th. And this is only July 9th, right? So
Jeez,
this is
oh
like very
Wow.
man.
short.
Yeah, they fast tracked this thing. They're like, let's go.
But then
Holy cow.
the end of the story is within a month. They had appealed it, and so this time there was a jury. The High Court gave them a new trial, and this time only Sarah was tried because the others went state's witness. All these
Oh, they
guys.
all turned
Oh,
on
so they all turned against her.
hmm So they're all state's
Wow.
witnesses, and then they're going to talk about Sarah and how Sarah's super jealous or something like that. But what ended up happening was that this time the jury was 9 men and 3 women. And so, you've got this beautiful defendant, and they were like, you know what? Let's just acquit her. So she was acquitted, and there is a picture of her after she got acquitted. Let's see.
I bet she married one of the jurors. Oh,
Yikes.
So here she is.
You're,
She's cleared in
I
the
could see
killing.
them letting Iris go, but Sarah?
today stands acquitted of manslaughter charges.
So yeah, so this is what happened to her. And only one more thing could I find about her. I searched for her up until the 1950s and said in 1932, Sarah briefly regained the spotlight because they found her engaged in a noisy altercation with a guy named Cleveland Graves I think over a parking spot. And the police brought her in because she was drunk and she was charged with intoxication. But after that, she stayed on the right side of the law.
Wow. Well,
Okay.
parking's tough in LA.
Wow,
Uh,
that's an interesting and great story.
wow. Thank you for
Yeah.
Like,
that.
yeah, thank you so much. So I'm gonna distill it down to what the real problem was, and it still exists today.
Okay.
Alcohol.
Oh,
And
Alcohol,
swingers.
alcohol, alcohol. It's alcohol. It's like it dulls the senses, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, and
and you
guns. Mixing
What?
guns
Well,
and alcohol
yeah,
didn't
but
help.
it was started with alcohol first, right? They get together. Hey, let's go meet somebody else. Hey, let's go over here and do a thing.
You could
And
say it
then
started with the relationship first.
you got unrequited love, right? Where you got Joe Hill who's like, hey, what's going on, Isabel? And
Joe
she's
Hill
like,
wants
no.
some.
Joe Hill
Yeah.
is like, she's refusing my advances. Man, forget her. And just jumps out of a moving car.
Just jumps out of the car.
Jumps out of a car. This is oh man, I feel like this would be we should tell this story in schools as to why you shouldn't drink.
That's funny. That's pretty funny.
Like,
That's
do
funny.
not drink because it's easier to handle rejection when you're sober. You just go, all right, whatever. You keep it
Yeah, there's
moving.
plenty of fish,
Yeah,
who
exactly.
cares about Iris? I feel like he
Oh
could have probably
man.
gotten with Iris if he really wanted to, but she was yeah, I
And
She
he
was
think
looked
playing.
rough, man. He was too rough. She was a city girl. She Hollywood. You can't just get them Hollywood girls who come off the farm. Let me tell you, it's tough down here, Kim. It's tough.
well, I mean, he could have
Yeah,
joined he could have gotten in on this like real live cowboy thing that all these other guys were getting in on,
Maybe,
right?
yeah,
maybe.
And I don't know
yeah.
if he had the
I thought you were gonna say you could have got into a yoga studio, maybe.
Solid, silly.
Joe
No,
Hill
man,
here, gonna do some stretching.
dude, this is so this is amazing. Like I love these stories. I cannot say that I knew prior to this that I would enjoy that time period and these stories as much as I am right now. Like
Yeah,
even
it's
like I
so
said,
different.
yeah, you have definitely sparked something where I'm like, okay, I got to get these books and I need to read them.
Oh,
So
thank
if
you so
people,
much.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, and I'll give you a little bit of backstory. I won't be too, I can be long-winded, but I
yeah,
won't
we don't
be too
want that.
long-winded. So during the pandemic, as an actor, I met up with, there was a director I worked with and another writer. We got together and we created a show, an animated show. And the
Oh,
time period that we were focused on was the early 1900s. We're looking at Theodore Roosevelt in that era.
I love Theodore Roosevelt so much. Tell me about your
Oh,
show.
well, okay, so we got the show together. It didn't get picked up because there was a switch in the industry, but they were shopping it to different people. But the idea was that we came up with a collection of people, groups of people who were like a part of a secret agency that worked directly under Theodore Roosevelt, right?
Oh, I love
And I mean, how much can I say? Well, okay, basically it was a collection of people who worked directly with Roosevelt, and their job to some degree was, I won't say their job, but they found themselves in situations where they were involved in historical events, but they didn't get credit for it because they're not supposed to be there. So
that.
when
Okay.
when things were being invented or events were happening in different countries or just whatever was happening in the world on a global scale, our group happened to be involved, and whatever the chemical was that they couldn't figure out, somebody hits a thing, it drops a thing in there, and it's like, oh, we discovered, whatever. And so it's just this whole thing. It was an animated, we called the Worldwide Task Force, and it was
I
called,
love that.
yeah,
It's
it's
almost like
called,
CIA only good, right? Like
there
they're
you go, right?
yeah, I
But
like that.
I
it's
can't see
called
why.
it's called WTF, right? WTF, but Worldwide Task Force.
Oh, of course, Worldwide Task Force.
Right, yeah.
That's
And
how people
so,
use that.
yeah, exactly. And
All
so
right. So if
we
they
had it.
want
So
your
that time period, I was just doing some research about it. So I'm really interested in hearing about these things.
if
Go
they
for it.
want your books, they go to oldspirituals.com. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I have this About Me page and then like there's links to all my books there, but you can find them on Amazon or yeah, I mean mostly on Amazon, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's a little surprise, Reggie, that I didn't know. So I've known Kimmy, I call her Kimmy. I've known Kimmy's for ever since high school. We went to high school together. I think we graduated the same class.
Yeah.
I didn't really know you in high school. I got to know you more in college because we both were commuting to our schools or whatever. But
Did you go to
Kimmy,
Cleveland State too?
she
Yeah.
no, she went to a different school in the same
Oh,
area.
okay.
Where'd you go bowling, ball and Wallace?
I went to Baldwin Wallace, but then I did I went to Cleveland State after when I did my
Okay.
master's.
Ah,
But
okay.
she's one of the few, she knew my dad.
I
Oh,
loved your dad. He was so nice.
really? Okay. First of all, I got to say it's amazing to meet someone who knew Sal's pop. I only know Sal's dad from Sal talking about him
Am I
on
Oh my
still?
gosh,
stage.
he was such a nice
Well, he
guy.
always turned the
Really?
charm on for Kimmy Kim because she come over and he was like, "Oh, Sal's not gay, good." And then like, "Oh, let me be nice to this broad so she doesn't run off." So
No,
Hilarious.
he was nice. He
he
was always
saw
so
this.
nice to me, and he was a really good guy. But I do remember you in high school because I think we were in the same homeroom. And
Oh,
like
maybe
you were
I
in the
have to. Yeah,
back,
yeah, yeah.
like we had assigned seats, and I was like in the front row, so I didn't sit with Sal or anything, but he was in the back, and he was mostly really quiet,
Yeah, I was
except for
very quiet.
occasionally he would just say something hilarious, but it
Yeah, I
wasn't
Wow.
all
don't
the
even
time. It was
remember
just
that.
every once in a while, you know?
Oh
Interesting.
wow, that's cool. That's pretty cool to get some insight into the old Sally boy in high
Well, it's
school.
interesting even for me to hear from her perspective,
Yeah.
'cause,
Well, I'll
uh,
tell you, I was shocked because when we were, I think this was in college, but you were in a play. Do you
I
remember
was
that,
in a
Sal?
play.
Yeah, you were in a play, and it was he was a prisoner in a play. But I remember you texted me, you're like, or you texted me or you called me, something, whatever we were using. And you said, "Hey, do you want to come see me in a play?" And I was like, "No way, he's not in a play." Because I always had this impression that you were really shy. And then I went
Yeah.
there and I watched and I was like, he was really good. And I
Oh
was like,
wow.
that's incredible. Because isn't that right, Sal? What was the name of the play?
It was a Tennessee Williams play, not about nightingales. And I played multiple parts because I didn't have a main part, but it was about four prisoners who were getting kind of tortured, and then they end up
Yeah.
dying in this prison. And I played a guard at one time. I played a prisoner at a different time. But yeah, I had a bunch of different things. And yeah, dude, that was my yeah, that play. First time I kissed a black girl, Reg. Yeah, she was running the lights.
Okay. She was oh good. Good for you, Sal. I'm glad you
That
kissed a
part
black girl.
wasn't in the play,
That wasn't
but
in the play, dude. That was behind the scenes.
I love the fact that you told me that, like I might know her. It's like she was black, Reg. You kissed
Cleveland,
a
right?
black girl.
don't you
Like,
know, black
was
people
it
everywhere?
Vanessa Johnson? It sure was.
Kimberly, why aren't you in the, are you in our yearbook?
Probably not, no,
Why?
because I came to class like I think I started like a week or two later than you guys.
Mm.
So I
Oh,
wasn't in the yearbook, but that's okay. I don't take great pictures. I'm not very
you want to see
photogenic, so I
me,
wasn't
dude? Look at me,
devastated.
Reg. Oh shit. Yeah, I
Oh, we
gotta show
can't
off
see.
my
Oh.
ah man,
Oh
let
wait,
me
can you not show that a little bit? Because it
Yeah,
came
you
it
up for a
showed up a
second.
little bit. It showed
oh
up
did
if you
it?
hit the
All
right
right, let me
angle.
Yeah,
try
Yeah,
again.
hold it up. I want to see
the
your
right
yearbook
angle.
Oh,
picture.
Wait, hold up.
I look
Right.
stupid. Oh,
Oh, wait.
oh, there I am, right in the
Oh,
middle.
whoa, look at Sally.
Oh
Holy cow.
yeah.
Oh, Kevin Callahan, and I forget the other dude's name.
I can definitely see Sal
Look at
in
that
there for
guy's
Oh
sure.
mullet.
yeah, that's definitely you. And
Yeah.
look, like you're next to the guy with the mullet, and you're like
Jason
rocking the gray
Booza, that's
hair.
what it is.
You
Okay.
Yeah.
got you got the hel was that a helmet you're wearing? Is that a
Dude,
helmet?
I had that beaver head, dude.
You got the helmet.
That's hilarious.
Whoa.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah,
But
Dude,
the
I
old
this
was
is
surprised when when
90s.
Sal got into comedy and stuff.
mhm.
I always thought Sal was like painfully shy. And
That's
then
funny.
later, like when he started, like after that play, it seemed like everything started to change,
You know what's
like every
funny? One of the first early memories I have is in 12th grade, I had to give an oral speech about this book I read. And this guy got shot in the butt and by an arrow, and then they had to ride across the land. And I was throwing jokes and like, so then this guy's trying to ride a horse with half his ass shot. I'm like, it makes no sense. And like people were laughing, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm feeling it. And even the teacher's like, wow, Sal, you really enjoyed that. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
like once I begin, but I was definitely always very shy and very observant. But I didn't
Yeah.
realize I would say funny things, but people have told me like, "Oh yeah, I could see you used to say funny stuff as you were young," and I didn't remember it much
Wow.
being
That's
shy.
interesting. Well, for me, knowing Sal, I can speak directly to this. Sal is like a collection of talent. He's written, he's directed, he's produced, he's acted, he's in the entertainment world. Sal has legitimately done everything
All
from being a
Yeah.
unsuccessfully.
yeah, and then editing, right? He wrote a movie and edited and did
You made a
sound.
movie, Sal? I didn't know that.
Well, he co-wrote a short film. Yeah, I have a short film out
Oh, a
there.
short film. But
But
I was thinking
yeah.
about the one you did back home.
Oh, well, I did one in college at Cleveland State called First Day
Yeah.
Faux Pas. And I put all our friends in it, like Damien's in it. I put all these people in it. And because I knew I was leaving, so I was like, I'm gonna make this film, and that's what got me into it too. Because in college, I took an acting class and a film class, and I was like, oh, I gotta go out west. And then I convinced Monad to go with me, and then
Jason.
yeah, she knows Jason really well too, because
Okay.
we
Okay.
Yeah,
all we
Yeah,
all
we
went to
call
different
him
schools in the area, so we
Jason is
had
the
donut shops and shit.
Jason is
he's
good.
the he's the nut butter
He was
guy.
on here. He was on here, and
Yeah.
Reggie knows him. Like,
Jason was on your show. I didn't
Yeah.
realize
yeah,
that. That would have made me more nervous because I feel like you have luminaries on now, right? Like it's
Hey,
already intimidating a little bit to be on your
no
show.
way. This has been phenomenal. I am so excited about these books.
Oh, thank you.
yeah. Do you
Yeah.
have anything coming up,
Well,
like a
I
book?
am working on something new. And this
Ooh.
one, like all of my books so far have been about like a murder, like one murder that I just dug up and found. This one is about a career criminal in California. And it happened in the
Mm,
1920s. So this is like, I feel like I'm a little bit out of my element. Like there's no massive crime. And also it's a female. And also it is in the 1920s, which feels really modern to me somehow. So
You're
I
stuck in
gotta
that
mm.
catch up on
world,
all these
dude.
things.
Okay, there's one thing I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this was a collective effort by, the people you work with, right? The covers of the book,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
They fit like image wise, they fit I feel like they fit the genre, right?
Yes.
With the back, but I've that looks familiar to other books in that genre to some degree.
Hmm.
Like, so was that a concerted effort where it's like, oh, we want to make this look a certain way?
Well, I found an artist who's, and I can't remember his name right now. I wish I could, but I found an artist and it was on like Fiverr or one of those types of sites. And he does covers for books. And I
Mm,
saw his stuff and I really liked it because I felt like a lot of people do something that's more flashy that wouldn't work so much for
okay.
what I do. And when I found his, I was like, wow, I would love to have him do mine. And so I asked him, and he was like, sure, sure. And he also, there's
Like
like a
that one.
little label like in the corner of my book. So if you stop right there, like in the lower right-hand
Oh,
corner, he made
Okay.
that logo too, because when I left my publisher,
oh, there
I
it
Oh
is.
yeah.
started like I mean anybody can start their own publishing thing on Amazon. So I started that. So he made that for me too. And he was so
Mhm.
good and like give him feedback about things
It's
and
creepy looking too, man. Like it's
Do
just
I mean, okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Sal. Go ahead. I was gonna
That's
say
it.
let's
I mean, it is
well look
good,
at
and
this
like
one.
well, all of them, like
I
all of
mean,
them have
yeah,
their
but can we
vibe.
go back to the top to the grievous deed, and then we'll go to the next one. But with that one, if you zoom in a little bit, right, you have Ed right here in the front, and
hmm.
then on the bridge, which where it took place, and then you got the
Yeah.
noose, right?
Yeah.
And it's just the way, I mean, it really like you're telling the story,
Right there.
obviously, with it right there without necessarily giving it away. But man, yeah, and then the next one right below it, I think that one's really phenomenal because I mean, look at that.
That shit looks
The
like a haunting.
yeah, but it's the mysterious
Yeah.
And then with
unsolved
a little
murder of
nutcracker on the thing. Yeah, what are you
dude,
doing there?
the it's the
Yeah.
lighting, right? The
Well,
lighting, the
that's
shading, the
part of
mirror,
like
the
what
reflection.
happened there had to do with the
Yo,
lighting because his
yes,
wife was home and she said, well, I just like to have the lights on really, really low. And that was part of her, what she said. She was one of the suspects. Can I tell
yes,
you guys something really funny about this book?
Hmm.
yeah.
So this one takes place in Missouri, and there
Missouri.
is, what's that?
Missouri. I always say
Yeah.
it like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Missouri. Well, when I was writing this, like everybody I talked to there was like Missouri, and I think they just
Funny.
scolded me into saying it that way.
Okay.
But
Wow.
the thing is that that house where that happened is still there, and also the house in Cold Heart is still there. But this one, like, there's not a lot going on in that town. It's Savannah, Missouri, and that is where Eminem lived there briefly for some time. So I'm not sure
Wow.
what it was, but anyway, he lived there. But this house is still standing. And the lady at the Historical Society told me that the guy who lives there now, he was like getting divorced or something. And he noticed all these people were like driving by his house really slowly. And sometimes they would get out and take pictures and stuff. And he was getting really paranoid, like, what's going on? But they had read the book and then they figured out, oh, that's in this town. So they wanted to just go see where this murder happened. So they're taking pictures of
Wow.
his house, and the poor guy was so paranoid. And I never thought to like warn him or anything, like, hey, I'm gonna write a
Oh
book
Look
about
at
yeah.
that.
you, dude, having that effect. That's awesome.
I
It was
mean,
so funny. I felt really bad though, because the guy
Oh,
probably
well,
felt
that's
now
so paranoid.
great.
hopefully, if he knows now, then he could charge an entrance fee to come in and check
Oh
out the house.
yeah, charge
Yeah,
an
and
Like,
we can
entrance
sell it
fee.
as a
well,
famous house.
don't sell it, dude. Why you got to you never sell assets. What he does is he moves out of the house and then he stages it like it was in the 19 whatever that time period is,
Yeah,
right?
that's a good
There you
idea.
go.
And
Make a
then he can
carnival out of
charge
it.
people to come in and visit and take pictures. Dude, you got to monetize.
Nah,
Like,
man just
yeah.
wants to sit down and watch Netflix, dude.
All I'm saying is I'm not saying he can sit
You
down and watch Netflix at
don't,
another location
you don't want to make his
Making
while
a
house
lot
a
more money
making a
museum.
off of
lot
this
more
house.
money, right? Let that passive income keep coming in and go live somewhere else and watch his Netflix and just watch the bank account keep growing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So,
I love
All right.
it.
That's great.
um,
All right, Kimmy. Well,
wow.
thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much
Really
for having me on. This
appreciate
was
you.
so much fun to hang out with you guys
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah, this
talk
was
Hey,
with you.
awesome, man. Thank you
um,
so
Yeah,
much. I'm
thank
so
you.
excited about the books, and I'm looking forward. Well, okay, I'm gonna start. I guess I'll start with the first one, Poison Glass.
Don't start with that one.
Don't start
Actually,
with that one.
Have Sal send me your address and I'll send you one. How about that?
Real,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah,
look at
Can you sign
that.
it for me too?
of course. To Reggie? Yeah, okay.
Mr.
Steele with the
I
E
Kalani
got
on
was
the
it.
end,
so nice.
Steele.
Okay,
Kimmy
S-T-E-E-T.
Tilley. Oh, thank you so much, Kimmy. I mean,
Absolutely,
Kimberly.
absolutely.
I'm sorry.
No,
Kimmy
no,
Um,
that's
too.
fine. Everybody in high school called me Kimmy, and now I think if anybody called me that, I'd be like, what? But with
okay.
Sal, I would be like, I'd kind of be a little bit weirded out if he called me Kimberly, I think. So it's like,
Yeah, it
There
you
you
sounds
know,
go.
weird to me.
different
Kimmy
phases of life.
Sue sometimes, and she always would call me Salvatore. Only the one I allow.
Salvatore.
Yeah,
I love
allow
it.
Salvatore.
her. That was
Okay,
it.
well, Kimmy, thank you so much for that, and I look
Thank
forward
you.
to it. And that means you're gonna send me the book that you want me to read.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go. You
yeah.
get the author's choice.
I know the author's choice. It's like
Well,
this
thank you
is my
guys so
favorite.
much. You'll get that in the mail from me as soon as Sal sends me your address.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Well,
Okay.
thank
Thank
Talk
you.
you,
with you
Have a
guys
Kimmy.
wonderful
later.
day.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Look at that, Reg. I get you free gifts. That's what my guests bring
Dude,
here.
no. That's funny. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Dude, I swear to you, when I read her bio and I read about the books, because I
That's
sat and read,
crazy. You can tell the amount of research she does too.
oh dude, it's phenomenal. It's like
Yeah.
and they're
So
real true stories. Even the and so I want to say shout out to Kimberly Tilley for even just sharing the story with the pictures.
yeah.
That was so compelling,
I
right? It's
know.
compelling and it's intriguing, and you just get sucked into this world of prohibition
Yeah.
and late night drinking and driving and guns and uh triangles and you know what I mean, like love affairs and prison and dude,
Crazy.
come on, man. Yo,
And
I'm
Joe
excited,
Hill
bro.
trying to get some.
Yeah. Like Joe Hill's like, yo, what's up, man? And Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about Hollywood,
Yeah.
right? During the 1920s, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I
Dude, that's
forgot we
crazy.
should have warned her about telling her fans about the beginning of this. Well, sorry.
Oh yeah. Jeez. Maybe you can edit some of that down.
Hey, you want some
Maybe.
real true Hollywood stories? You got one.
Yeah.
You got a
There's
couple on this one.
there's guns, there's murder, there's alcohol, right? There's love triangles, and there's human feces.
His
I
fecal
mean,
matter.
it's Hollywood. So, but yeah, shout out to Kimberly, man. That was really great. I really appreciate her
That's
taking the
fun.
time to talk to us.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
Reg,
Well,
close us out, brother.
yes, sir. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to reading the book. Shout out to Kimberly Tilley for coming through and sharing her books and stories with us. It's really phenomenal. Please go check them out if you get a chance. If you enjoyed today's episode, you can find us online and please like, share, and subscribe. That's the best thing you can do. If you have any suggestions or comments, of things you want to hear or things you want us to talk about, then please, by all means, share that with us. So, with that being said, that's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Spitballin'. Peace.